Shalom. We're starting a new book, Deuteronomy, Parashat Devarim. We finished off the book of Numbers last week, and we did it in the theme of Shavuot, the counting of the Omer, count 103, which relates to the receiving of the first set of commandments which Moses broke, which the people broke the commandments by worshipping the golden calf. And the scene is as they were about to cross the Jordan, which is in sync with the prophetic timeline of entering the promised land in a prophetic way, where the Jordan depicts the great tribulation, the great atonement, and the great birth, and the nations who will come into the land. Now, Devarim means words. Now, that's an interesting name for a book. Deuteronomy comes from the Greek word where the word ditto comes from. It means to repeat. And basically this whole book is a repeat of the Torah, actually the commandments. Now, interesting fact, the book of Deuteronomy is the book that's mostly quoted from the New Testament, the Brit Chadashah, the renewed covenant. If you think about something that's renewed, it's also something that is repeated for a second time, dusting off, the old covenant. Let's make it brand new again. Let's reinstate it. So it's about reinstating of the covenant, or the repeating of the words of Yahweh. King Josiah did just that, breaking down the idols, and that's the same commandment that was given at the end of the book of Numbers, is to get rid of the idols, get rid of their pictures. Otherwise there will be brick in the eyes and thorn in the sides if you don't do that. So the Brit Chadashah, the new covenant, renewed covenant, and the repeating of the Torah is all about the remembering of the words of Yahweh, taking it serious. And it's all about getting rid of your old ways, getting rid of your fleshly ways, getting rid of your idol worship, things that you still do, that's embedded within your culture, which are your cultural festivals that might be opposing to Yahweh's Moedim, and also embracing his Moedim. We saw that same theme, and I think I'm going to put it in as a recap slide in this Torah portion, when they came down. Yahweh gave I think it was 13 commandments additional to the 10. Can't remember, but anyway, and those commandments basically focused on the Moedim, the feast of Passover and unleavened bread, to celebrate it in the right month. It also was about Shavuot and Sukkot, and then it also repeats not to take Yahweh's, I think idol worship is one of them, and the other one I think is not to take Yahweh's name in vain. Can't remember. Anyway, those commandments are part of the Brit Chadashah, the renewing of the commandments, which is part of the repeating of the Torah theme that is for us. So now we are prophetically in the land. So what do you do in the land? You renew the covenant, you reestablish the covenant, you set the covenant in place in this new land, and you have to face the enemies. The first enemies they faced, of course, is Jericho, and Yahweh took care of that enemy, and there's a lot of other enemies that is within the land that we saw in our journey through the wilderness, that they are present during the wilderness experience, but they're also present in the land. We've also laid the emphasis on the enemy within, that is the greatest enemy that you will bring into the land. So it's important that you will do introspection on a daily basis. Every end of the day, think back on what you've done that day, repent and recommit yourself daily back to Yahweh. So that is our task, and what we need to do in order to keep and uphold the standard of Yahweh, like Moses lifted the staff, Aaron supported him. That is what faith is about, the two pillars, which is faith in Mashiach and doing the commandments. We see that right through the book of Revelation, I think 2 places. Those who will overcome are those who have the witness of Mashiach, Yeshua, and who keep the commandments, who keep the Torah, And those are our 2 pillars of our faith that we need to adhere to. The book Devarim, words. If you place the 5 books of the Torah on a menorah pattern, you'll see that Devarim is the last one. It connects through the menorah branch to the first one, which is Bereshit. That means in the beginning. If you complete the sentence, in the beginning was words. And in the context of Genesis, in the beginning, it's about the creation through the medium of words. So repeating the Torah, Devarim, or Deuteronomy, is about creation. It's the next cycle of speaking again, or Yahweh is creating. So every creation cycle that we looked at throughout the 6th millennium, 7th millennium, and then the 8th millennium is the beginning of the next cycle. And those people who enter into the land into the 8th millennium, they need to hear the Torah as well, or we need to repeat the Torah for their benefit, on their behalf. And that is what Devarim is about in a larger prophetic cycle. And they now need to go through everything that we go through, learning the Torah cycles, the Moedim, learning about Yahweh, finding Yahweh's character, and so forth. So that is the 2 outer branches. The ones on the inner branches inner to that is Shemot and Bamidbar. Shemot means names, and in Hebraic concept, name is your character. And the characters are formed by traveling through Bamidbar, the wilderness. So the wilderness experience of this life, or the cycle, the creation cycle, is your Bamidbar, your wilderness that you go through. And the 8th millennium will be the next wilderness cycle, for the next creation cycle, for those people to be refined and their characters to be changed. And the middle branch is Vayikra, that means and he called. That's the ultimate purpose, or the intent, or the motive of the Father, is to call the people unto him, to have a relationship with him, to be with him, to be part of his household. And that is the intent of the Torah. It's not there to put a burden on you. It's for Yahweh to call you through his words, to create you and to change your character. So I'll leave you with those thoughts, beautiful pictures there, and I will speak to you again soon as we uncover the interesting gems within the book of Deuteronomy. I'll see you, I'll speak to you soon. Shalom, have a great day.